Good evening, everyone. Mr. Garcia?
Yes, Council President. Sorry, I was on the phone with Councilwoman Wilkins. She's currently trying to log on to the meeting.
Yeah, so I was able to get on, but I do need I see a bunch of emails on the screen. I need the actual agenda on the screen because it's never in my packet.
Hold on. There you are. Sorry about that. I was trying to accommodate the Councilwoman Wilkins. Hold on one moment for me. Thank you for that. On your call, Council President.
Okay.
Councilwoman Wilkins will be on momentarily. If you'd like, did you want me to just take roll for a quorum?
Yes, please.
Certainly. Roll call, Ms. Caldwell-Wilson.
Present.
Mr. Harrison.
Present.
Mr. Municipal.
Present.
Ms. Vaughn. Ms. Wilkins.
Present.
Ms. McBride.
Present. Thank
Okay,
you,
I
Mr.
believe we have a
Garcia.
quorum. Go ahead.
Yes, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This meeting is being called to order. Adequate notice of this meeting has been given in accordance with the Open Public Meetings Act pursuant to Public Laws 1975, Chapter 231. This agenda is complete to the extent known and was sent to the Trenton Times, posted on the first floor bulletin board in the City Hall, and filed in the City Clerk's office. Formal action will be taken. Roll call, Mr. Garcia.
Certainly. Roll call, Ms. Caldwell-Wilson.
Present.
Mr. Harrison.
Present.
Mr. Municipal.
Present.
Ms. Vaughn. Ms. Wilkins.
Present.
Ms. McBride.
Present.
Municipal Clerk Brandon Garcia, present. Mr. Kaloji.
Present.
Mr. Cruz.
Present. Good evening.
Mr. Cherry.
I'm present. Good evening, everyone.
Mr. Liston.
Present.
Mr. Bridges.
Mr.
Wilson?
Mr. Bridges is running a few minutes late. I'm sorry.
Understood. Mr. Wilson.
Mr. Garcia, this is Captain James Slack. I'm going to be filling in for for Director Wilson tonight. He's unavailable.
Noted. Thank you. Mr. Douglas.
Good evening, President.
Mr. Daniels. Mr. Daniels. Mr. Lopez. Excuse me, Dr. Ames. I apologize.
Oh, you said Mr. Lopez. Well, how are you, Mr. Garcia? I'm present.
Thank you very much, Dr. Ames.
You're
I'm
welcome.
doing wonderfully.
Good.
Mr. Onateri. Ms. Richardson.
Good evening, I am present.
Thank you. Mr. Lavenberg.
Present.
And Mr. Zelinski.
Present.
Okay. Go right ahead, Council President.
Yeah, so Mr. Garcia, is Mr. DeHope
Mr.
prepared?
DeHope is.
Yes,
is here.
he's present.
Okay, so then we'll go into the executive session so that
Great.
we can hear from Mr. DeHope, and then we'll
Okay.
go with the
Sounds
with
good.
yes, with the other
You
piece,
have a
the
motion to
litigation
go
piece
into
and the personnel. Mr. Garcia, are we doing the presentation? I mean the budget hearing tonight, right?
Yes, the budget hearing is
Okay.
tonight, and there is a resolution to introduce for that purpose as well, Council President.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, I'll go ahead and ask for a motion to go into executive session.
Yes.
Second.
Motion, there's a second. Thank you. Roll call, Ms. Caldwell-Wilson.
Mr. Garcia, excuse me,
Yes.
Edward Kaloji, a little specificity what we're going into executive session on, not just general
Certainly.
litigation. discuss which just a general assessment of which matter.
Yes, we have the
PWW litigation, for example.
I'm sorry, say that again?
I'm sorry, the Trenton Waterworks water litigation, that could.
We have Trenton Waterworks.
Don't he have a resolution to, the statement to read off for executive session?
Yeah, on my
There is.
agenda, it only said litigation and personnel. It didn't give any of the,
It does only say
specific
litigation
matters.
and personnel. It should say pending Trenton Waterworks litigation and personnel, evaluation of the clerk. Is there, does that serve purpose, Mr. Kaloji, or would you like me to read
yeah,
from the
that
executive
would be the
session?
motion, to go into executive session for those two matters that you just put on the record.
Okay, they were, do I need another motion and second then?
Yeah, do another motion to go into executive session based on those two matters, one
We have
being
a motion.
litigation, one personnel.
Okay. I have a motion to go into executive session for the two matters previously mentioned.
So moved.
Thank you.
Second.
Thank you. Roll call, Ms. Caldwell-Wilson,
Yes.
Mr. Harrison,
Yes.
Mr. Mushel,
Yes.
Ms. Wilkins,
Yes.
Ms. McBride.
Yes.
Motion carried. I will go ahead and form a breakout room for those for executive session. One moment. Okay.
I don't see anything but the agenda on the screen.
One moment. I just have to assign everybody manually. I'm almost done. Oh, wait, I only have one that's not joined. Mr. Harrison, I'll recreate the room to get you to join.
Mr. Garcia?
Yes, I
you
had to
know what-
recreate the room. I'm waiting on, I was wanting Mr. Harrison to join, but I noticed him as not joined, so I was recreating the room.
Okay. So it
Mr.
kicked
Harrison, you
everyone
there?
else. We're all
Yeah,
kicked out.
You're all out of it now. Hold on one second.
Mhm.
I'll recreate.
Is it just me or is the temperature dropping so fast?
Very much so.
Yeah, it's supposed to get very cold.
Oh.
Harrison.
Marge, were you actually at the Eagles game on Sunday, Marge?
No, that was a photograph that they took of me when I was a guest of the NFL.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I was like-
I have a picture of me with a Steelers helmet because I'm really a Steelers fan. I just wanted to nude some folks.
Long live the
I couldn't-
Steelers.
I couldn't let my son-in-law see that Eagles hat that you had in your hand because he is a diehard Cowboys fan.
Oh, he is.
Oh, yes, he is. And they lost on Sunday.
Well, that
Hey, don't talk about my Cowboys, okay? Hey. Hey, watch it.
So, Marge, you a Steelers fan? And did I hear Councilman Harrison say he's a Steelers fan too?
Oh, he
Die
is.
hard Steeler fan. Die
Oh,
hard.
Oh,
you're a
so I'm a
diehard Steelers
Steelers
fan.
fan. So there we go. Now we're.
You won't let me get in.
Again?
I know. What happened?
How come you can't get in?
I don't know.
Close all rooms. I close the rooms and I don't have Mr. Mushal or Mr. Harrison. Okay, we're having trouble here connecting some people into this room.
No, it's only lasting 60 seconds and we're out.
Right, everybody should be in it, and but once it's, if everybody who I've assigned isn't joined, it won't remain open. Usually I'm able to do this rather quickly. Hold on one second. So it's okay.
Is everyone here, Mr. Garcia?
Oh, I'm sorry. I believe so. Yes, Council President.
Alrighty, so if you do a brief roll call and
Certainly.
make sure everyone's on board.
Certainly. Ms. Caldwell Wilson,
Present.
Mr. Harrison. Mr. Harrison, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Michelle, are you present, Mr. Michelle?
Yes, I am.
Thank you. Ms. Vaughn, are you present? Ms. Vaughn? Ms. Vaughn, are you present? I saw her and then I didn't see her.
Yes, present.
Thank you. Ms. Wilkins?
Yes, I'm present.
Thank you. Ms. McBride?
Yes, present.
Okay, we have all council people here.
Mr. Kaloji on?
Mr. Kaloji, are you present, sir? Ooh, hold on. Looking for Mr. Kaloji. Mr. Kaloji, are you there, sir?
Yes, I'm here. Thank you.
Okay,
All right, we may continue.
okay. Appears we have the budget hearing at this time, Council President.
Yes, go right ahead.
Okay, the next on the agenda, we do have the budget hearing. We also have introduction of an amendment, which will also schedule this actual resolution has to be read twice. So I would be asking for a vote for this resolution, a motion and vote for this resolution today. And I'll read the title now, which is a resolution to approve the calendar year of 2022 municipal current fund budget amendments for the city of Trenton, $234,152,367.06. Is there a motion to introduce this? Mr. Kaloji, I'm sorry. Is there any other additional items that we need to handle for the budget hearing prior to the introduction of this resolution?
Yeah, I sent you over some verbiage. We want to refer to the budget assumedly by title. Otherwise, the only remedy would be you'd literally have to read the whole budget. And there's a small little nuance in the statute, and I sent you a resolution that I'd like you to just read, and the council can vote on it. It basically says that council's been advised that the provisions of the statute have been complied with to the extent that the budget has been available for at least a week to anyone to look at or anyone who's wanted a copy of it, and that council wishes to read it by title. And it requires a majority of the full membership of the council to vote to read it by title. So it's just a housekeeping item, but it's a necessity. So if you would just read the resolution into the record and take a vote on it, the little blurb that I sent you a little while ago will be fine.
Okay, Mr. Kaloji, humbly, the only my only question would be: it appears that that same was read and passed on April 7th of 2022, Resolution 22-99.
The reason why I'm having a hard time understanding that is because the section that I read you under NJSA 48:4-8, that only applies to the budget hearing, which is where we're at now, not
Right.
the budget introduction. So why they would have done it then, I don't know, but I think to be safe, I would just simply read it again. But
Sounds good. No worries. No worries. Let me go ahead and get to that verbiage, and I'll go ahead and do so. One moment, please. Okay, this is a resolution authorizing the city of Trenton's calendar year 2022 budget to be read by title only. Whereas NJSA 48:4-8 sets forth that the budget may be read by title only at the time of public hearing if a resolution is passed by not less than the majority of the full governing body, provided at least 1 week prior to the date of the hearing, and at the hearing, a complete copy of the approved budget, A, shall be made available for the public and for public inspection, and B, shall be made available to each person upon request. And whereas the conditions of NJSA 40A:4-8, 1A and B as set forth have been met. Now therefore be it resolved by a majority of the full membership of the governing body that the budget for the calendar year 2022 shall be read by title only at the hearing upon adoption. Can I have a motion for that particular resolution?
So move.
Is there a second?
Second,
Thank you. Roll call, Ms. Caldwell Wilson,
Yes.
Mr. Harrison,
Yes.
Mr. Michelle,
yes.
Ms. Vaughn?
No.
Is that a no?
Yes, it is. It's a no.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Wilkins,
Hey.
did I hear abstain? I'm sorry, my audio is a little messed up.
That's okay. Yes.
Okay, that was yes, or was it? Okay,
Abstain.
thank you.
You're welcome.
And Ms. McBride?
Yes.
Okay. That motion carries.
Excuse me? I thought Mr. Kaloji said it had to be the full body.
Oh, excuse me, it has to be by the full governing body. I apologize. So no, then that motion that's failed. And
No, 4 votes is a majority of the full membership of the council. And all that vote did was allow you to refer to the budget by title, as opposed to having to literally read the entire budget into the record. And 4 votes, we've determined, is the amount that's necessary. So you have 4 affirmative votes, Mr. Clerk?
yes,
Then it's passed.
Council President,
Okay.
Council President.
Yes, Councilwoman Vaughn.
I'm confused. I've been on the council for 4 years. And under three clerks. And this is the first time I'm hearing that a municipal budget gets passed by 4 votes. I thought a municipal budget gets passed by
No, this
5
wasn't
votes,
a period.
supermajority.
No, this is just to read it into this is just
Oh,
not
okay.
the whole
Yeah.
thing into the record. So you
Okay.
could just read the
This has
title.
nothing to do with passing the budget. This was simply
Okay.
a resolution that would allow us to refer to the budget by title as opposed to having to read pages
Oh,
and
understood.
pages and pages.
Understood. My bad.
Yeah, so that's all it is. Thank you.
okay. So at this time, we have the public hearing for the budget. Mr. Kaloji, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but if there's if anyone wishes to, the public wishes to speak with the budget, they may.
Yes, yes, I believe so.
Okay.
But are they speaking to the changes? Don't the amendments have to come first before they speak? Mr. Kaloji?
Hold on, I'm just pulling out the local budget law. All right.
Madam President, if I may.
So what happens is you're going to open a hearing on the budget. And there is a public hearing. The people get to speak. The governing body may amend the budget during or after the public hearing, or it may not amend it at all. It's totally up to the governing body,
Okay.
but it starts
Yeah.
up.
Yeah, and
So
I
they
think the
can
question
speak
is, does
now.
it have to be, do the amendments have to be read? My understanding is the amendments have to be read to record, not the entire budget, simply the amendments.
Right.
But I thought Mr. Kaloji
But-
just said they could either hear it before the amendments or after.
Okay, it says right here, the governing body, after you determine it's going to be read by title, which you've already done, you are opening the hearing because it says after closing the hearing, you can adopt it with or without amendment. So
Okay.
it appears you have to open it, allow the public to speak on it, and then you can address any amendments thereafter or during
Okay.
the public.
Exactly.
Thank you. So
Thank you.
you can open it to the public. Mr. Garcia. But wait, before you do
Okay.
that, Mr. Cherry, were you trying to interject something?
Yes, Madam President, I was just going to say what Mr. Kaloji said, that the hearing it's a ministerial issue that we're opening the hearing actually on the introduced budget. After the hearing is open, then we can talk about the amendment.
Okay. All right, so we make a motion to open up the hearing, right?
Is there a motion to open up the hearing? Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Second.
For the public, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm yielding to, was that Mr. Kaloji I heard?
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you, Mr. Clerk.
No, I was yielding to you. I thought you were saying something. Was that you or Mr. Cherry?
No.
Mr. Cherry, was that you?
No, sir.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I didn't know. I thought I heard somebody. In any event, I apologize. Is there a motion to open up the hearing?
So moved.
Thank you.
Second.
Roll call, Ms. Caldwell-Wilson,
Yes.
Mr. Harrison,
Yes.
Mr. Michelle,
Yes.
Ms. Vaughn,
Yes.
Ms. Wilkins,
You're on mute,
Ms. Wilkins,
Sonia.
Yes, Mr. Garcia,
Thank you.
yes. You're
Ms.
welcome.
McBride.
Yes.
Motion carried. Thank you.
Council President,
Yes, go right ahead, Councilwoman Caldwell.
is someone going to read the amendments before the public
It
speaks?
appears
No,
there
they
is
said
a
that
hearing.
They said that we can open it up and let the public speak before the amendments are read into the record, if they're even read into the record.
But how would the public know what our amendments are?
I do humbly, I apologize. And I'll yield to Mr. Cherry. Mr. Cherry did send me a public hearing presentation, if that's something that the council wishes to see.
Madam President?
Yes, go ahead, Mr. Cherry.
Yes, Councilwoman, this public hearing unfortunately, it was just delayed because we set a hearing date, but then failed to actually hold the hearing back in May. So this public hearing that we're opening is on the introduced budget. After this public hearing, there will be an introduction of the amendment if council so chooses, and there will be a subsequent public hearing on the amendment, probably at a special meeting, if that is the will of council. But this hearing is just an artifact of us not being able to hold the hearing back in May. So we are actually holding a hearing on the introduced budget. We're opening a hearing on the introduced budget, not on the amendment.
That doesn't make any sense to me, but that doesn't make any
President,
sense to me because the budget that we're finally going to vote on is going to include the amendments column,
Yes,
not the introduced budget.
I'm just reading from the statute book, NJSA 40:4-9 small b. It says the governing body may amend the budget during or after the public hearing. Now, don't forget, this is public hearing, we'll call it number 1. This is on the budget that has been presented.
But Mr.
If an
Kaloji, we
amendment-
already amended the budget. We already had our meeting. We amended the budget already.
But council has to do it as a body, Councilwoman. In other words, wait, you're saying council as a body amended the budget?
In the budget hearings, we gave the amendments. And
No,
we
you have.
and we got the budget back
we
with
sent
the
them over
amendment.
to DCA, and we sent
will
our
have to be
amendments
done.
over to DCA.
So the motion for my understanding, and I'll certainly defer to Mr. Cherry, is that the amendment, any amendment would have to be put forward tonight and would also have to be voted upon. But I'll let Mr. Cherry and Mr. Cruz direct me in that area because I certainly don't purport to be the budget expert.
It is my understanding that Mr. Kaloji is correct. I believe I was not directly party to this communication, but it is my understanding that the DCA reached out through the clerk to council to request that any measures or any changes requested by council be put to motion and voted on. I do not believe, and I am certainly, it's possible that I'm incorrect, but I do not
No,
believe
that's not
that-
correct.
The Cherry, normally when we do amendments, the budget is amended and then it comes to us and we vote on it.
So we sent the amendment over to the DCA, right, Councilwoman? And DCA,
Yes.
DCA rejected all of our amendments.
Oh, they did?
Yes, they did. Mr.
Yes, they did.
Mr. Mr. Garcia, can you, do you have the letter on hand that DCA said that they were rejecting all of our amendments and they were suggesting that we just went with what the administration put forth? Do you have?
I'd
So
have
they
to
did it
search for
legally
it.
this time.
I'd have to search for it. My understanding was that, I'm sorry. Okay. In any, I can certainly look and try and find that. From what I
Yeah,
understand, the resolution here is for the adoption of the, or excuse me, for the introduction. This resolution requires 2 readings. It's read now, and then it's read yet again at another meeting approving these amendments.
Yeah, so let me just be clear. So we sent over, Mr. Garcia sent over all of our recommendations for amendments after we finished the hearings. That was back a while ago. And DCA said, okay, as far as the jobs over at the police department, we really don't think that the council has a right to even discuss that because it's a part of the bargaining agreement. As far as other recommendations that we made, they said that their suggestion was that we go with what the administration put forward. That was the letter that they sent to us. I wish Mr. Garcia could find that letter so he could read it so that the entire public could.
I wish we'd all gotten a copy of it, but these amendments are 234. This is was that the original budget, the 234 million?
They're putting forth their original budget with no changes that we
Oh,
made.
so they did it a little differently this time. Instead of just not looking at ours and accepting the mayor's budget, they're letting us know they're not accepting our budget this time.
Exactly.
Correct.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Or going to court again.
Mhm. Exactly. So they did send a letter saying, you know.
Can
we
that letter
appreciate-
be attached to the resolution, Council President?
It should be. Mr. Garcia.
I'm looking now through it. I just had to shift my items here on my screen so that I can.
All right.
look
So
through
we
this,
won't hold.
so I can
We
go ahead
won't
and
hold the
grab that.
public.
So, Council President, there were department directors that agreed to some cuts.
I understand that, but they did not accept it.
Because they were over budgeted in some line items.
Exactly. I need the letter because I'm just talking off of memory without that letter in front of me, but I do recall the letter.
That is what the letter said, Council President.
How come I didn't see that letter? I didn't
I
get
think
it.
we all received it by email.
I was having problems with my email with.
Yeah.
I think
we
it came
received
from,
it.
I'll find
it came from Mr.
Petix,
Gonzalez.
Was it Gonzalez or Petix? Was one of them.
Yeah, one of them from
Yeah.
DCA.
They did say
Mhm.
that they were rejecting all of our amendments and that we should just move forward with the budget as is.
I mean, why do we even bother reviewing the budget if this is the case?
Good question.
This is crazy.
Madam President, may I speak, please?
I don't know who.
Mr. Gonzalez.
Bill Gonzalez from the DCA.
Yes, go right ahead.
The letter that you're referring to, as I remember it, was from Mr. Petix. And I believe he requested that that the item be placed, the amendments, the changes you wanted would be placed on the agenda and voted by the council as a whole. It was just to make sure that that was what the council wanted, not individuals on council, but that it was voted on by the council as a whole.
But
It was
when we
not-
sent the amendments over, it had been agreed with by the majority of the council. When
Well,
we
fine,
sent the
then.
amendment,
All you have to do is vote on it.
Okay,
Well,
we could
Too
do that.
late now.
who was that, Mr. Zelinski? Saying it's
Oh,
too
I'm
late.
sorry, I'm unmuted. I mean,
Thank you, Mr. Gonzalez. We can do that.
You're welcome, man. Thank you. Thank you, Council President.
We still need that letter, so we'll know the, Mr. Garcia, do you have the amendments that we put forth that we sent over to DCA? You should have that, right?
I do have that. Let me just grab that email then and I'll try and
Right.
post that.
If you just basically read off what we sent over to them as part of our amendments, then we can vote on that.
Okay, one moment for me so that I can get to that, find that. Okay. All right, are we able to see this screen? Council recommendations, 22 budget meetings? Is everybody able to see that on the screen?
Yes.
Okay. Council President, would you like me to read these line by line? Hello, Council President? Did I lose everybody or are we all together still? Would you like me, Council President, would you like me to read these
Yes.
line by line?
What did you say, Mr. Garcia?
I said, I have the council recommendations for the 2022 budget here. Would you like me to read those line by line? This is what was sent to the DCA.
Yes, just go ahead and read it, and you have
Okay.
it. Could you make it a little bigger so the public can see it?
Yeah, I could try. That's my full screen. Let me see. There you go.
All righty.
Okay.
My glasses too.
Yeah, that's big for me. Is it small for everybody else?
Yes, it's okay.
Okay.
It's fine.
Okay. All right, council recommendations 2022 budget meetings 7/5 to 7/26 of 2022. For the court, provide revenues for the department, hire 10 people to department, offer a competitive salary for positions within $39,000 to $49,000 to start at a $45,000 minimum. 16 entry-level positions. Competitive titles are needed, trade or combine 2 positions to be able to offer competitive salaries. Administrative analyst is one of the salaries. Substitute entry-level titles for professional titles. Promote qualified individuals to professional titles. Take 16 vacancies to combine them to increase the starting rate for at least 5 to 6 salaries to start within the range. Improve salaries of those having held entry-level positions or forfeit 8 of 16 vacancies. Provide revenue reports to council. Decrease vehicle maintenance line item to actual figure for 2021 from 7,500 to 1,500. For finance, provide revenues for department, provide budget audit trail, revise other expenses line item. Need an explanation of expenses paid out of that line item. Provide percentage of the department specific personnel is, provides percentage of department specific personnel is paid from. Should be on a spreadsheet in a report and a resolution when presented to council. Senior customer service representatives of 25 plus years plus experience should be hired at a step up from the current pay when moving to a higher title. Fill vacant positions prior to the end of the fiscal year. Take Mr. Harris's salary eliminated from department salary budget and part of his salary utilized to be placed within a line item. Provide date when paralegal tech position was transferred from the law department to the tax department. Move paralegal title and position back to the legal department. Provide civil service certificate. I'm sorry. Okay. Provide
Go
civil
ahead.
service. Somebody wish, I'm sorry.
No,
Somebody
no, no, go ahead.
Thank you. Provide civil service certification list, paralegal type tech 1 employee was selected from. From the mayor's office, provide revenues for the department of the $569,000 budget, reduce department budget to $300,000 and place difference in general fund. Chief of Administrative Services title, confirm what collective bargaining unit the title falls under. Provide dates, position posted through civil service. Health and Human Services, provide revenues for the department, budget adjustments, 265, these are lines within the budget. 265, remove 9,600 for maintenance of vehicles. 270, remove 3,200 for other equipment. 299, remove $5,866 from other expenses. 4,001, remove $31,609.25 TMAC grant from the budget. Copy of the trust account balances for each division under Human Services. 416, office equipment decreased to 4,000. Department of Water and Sewer. Provide revenues for the department. Identify and determine vacancies. List vacancies on amended budget for council and public view. Bring on additional personnel to fill vacancies to lower overtime budget. Submit list of vacancies with titles and salaries to council. Submit list of deficiencies for hiring purposes. Meet with business administrator and personnel to address overtime figure. For water, provide revenues for department. Explanation of chemical budget lines. Provide figures for zeroed out line items. Revise new hire, I guess that's 7768 to reflect proper status. Do same for other new hire employees, transfer, I see here, transfer promotion. Move employees to their proper respective departments on the budget sheet. Housing and Economic Development, provide all revenues for the department, provide figure for zeroed out line items, remove all unfunded titles from the budget, note retirements to fill those vacant positions. Clerk's office, lines 235, photocopying, double account appropriation. 316, increase to $4,500. 410, increase to allow for 2 vehicles, 2 SUVs or 1 SUV and 1 van. Provide research for vehicles. 2100 230, printing and binding elections increase for the elections increase. 2100 299, other expenses increase to 40,000 for election year. For personnel, confirm removal of employees no longer working in department. Revise staff and salary changes to reflect below. City clerk, deputy clerk, assistant administrative analyst, keyboarding clerk 2, keyboarding clerk 1, 2 of those, and keyboarding clerk 1 bilingual, and licensed inspector. City council, provide clarity regarding salaries for council as listed in budget. I have in parentheses 30,000 and 35,000. Provide clarity as to ordinance for council salaries. 290, remove line item and appropriations and transfer to law department. Move appropriations for attorney fees to law department to pay redevelopment attorney fees. Add following titles, legislative aid and research aid. Department of Recreation, somebody help me out with that.
Natural resources and cultural.
Thank you. Present and include quotes and costs for bucket truck. Increase horticulturalist title to a comparable professional civil service title. Move horticulturalist title to a different union to allow for improved salary range. Check civil service to find more professional salary appropriate titles for those positions where applicable. Create position for landscape architect. Eliminate unfunded positions not to be included in budget for 2022. Fire department on 433, double line item for PPE and firefighters equipment. 4500-299, Other expenses, revisit figure, send information to council. For 414, revisit regarding COVID-related purchases. 265, increase vehicle maintenance to 133,900. 265, 270, maintain figures. Prorated salaries to be included for 19 vacancies to be filled. Police Department, 399, 7,500, reduction from the 15,000, that number, for 399. 299, move line to 303. Send percentages of Superior Officers Association and Police Benevolent Association overtime. Explain and provide breakdown of 4.5 million figure by rank, sergeant, lieutenant, captain, and so on. 328, food for prisoners, decrease from 15,000. Provide percentage of violent crimes committed with a gun. Business Administrator, list all waivers pertaining to appropriations requested by the state. That is what I have.
That's a lot. All right, they want us to vote on this.
Is there a motion on those?
So moved.
Second.
Moved in second, I'll call a roll. Ms. Caldwell Wilson,
Yes.
Mr. Harrison.
No.
Mr. Michelle,
Yes.
Ms. Vaughn. Ms. Vaughn,
Yes.
Ms. Wilkins,
Yes.
Ms. McBride.
Yes.
That motion carried.
So
Moving
now
on.
we open it up to the public for public comment. Is
there
that
any
correct,
public-
Mr.?
I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was asking Mr. Kaloji if that was correct.
Oh, Mary Horn.
What you just read into the record, Mr. Clerk, was that the body of the amendment?
No, that was the proposed amendments that were sent to DCA I was instructed to read, that apparently
Okay.
were to be put to a vote by the council.
Okay, well, it says here that the governing body may amend the budget during or after the public hearing. We opened the public hearing. The governing body amended the budget. It looks to me that we're still supposed to have a hearing on the original budget, and we're still supposed to have an additional proceeding on the amendment.
So can they be combined for tonight?
I don't believe they can be combined because it says here that notice of hearing on any amendment shall be advertised at least 3 days before the date is set therefor. So there can
Okay.
be a public hearing tonight on the budget itself, and then the clerk is going to have to advertise presumably a special meeting
Mhm.
for a hearing on the amendment. I
Right.
discussed this with Mr. Cruz today, and my understanding was this was all kind of figured out.
All righty, so
I don't know.
now we're gonna open it up for the public to give their input on the budget that was introduced introduced to the council by the administration. So Mr. Garcia, that's what we're doing now. We're just gonna open it up to the public for the introduced budget to us before we amended it.
Are there any members of the public that wish to speak during this hearing? Please raise your hand. Thank you. I have Ms. Horn. Go ahead, Ms.
Go
Horn.
right ahead, Ms. Horn.
Yes, good evening, council, and administration. What I would like to say is that it's very confusing here because the amendments that were proposed on the budget came back, they hadn't been approved, if I understand that right. And the amendments that I'm hearing, I think would be fair and just because everything that's
But we're
being
not
asked
talking
for
about the
now.
amendments. Ms.
and seeing
Horn,
that Council,
Ms. Horn. So we're not.
okay, I'm hearing.
We're
Yes.
not able to discuss the amendments tonight because the way that Mr. Kaloji has explained it to us is that we have to talk about the introduced budget, the budget that the administration gave us before we took that vote tonight. So next the next hearing will be on what we voted on tonight. So they want you to talk about.
Fair enough, then.
They want you to talk about the
Go ahead.
actual budget that came to the council.
Let me get my, I'm sorry about this. Let me get this.
Yes,
Can you hear me, Council President?
Yes, I can. It is.
Well, I will take my comments back because I haven't seen the actual budget. So I cannot comment on it.
Okay.
So thank you. I thank you for your time.
All righty. Is there anyone else out in the public that understands the process? We're going to be talking about the actual budget that the administration introduced to the council.
I don't see anyone.
I'm not seeing any other hands.
Okay, so we could close that public portion of this,
Okay.
of that
Motion to
hearing.
close.
And so now, Mr. Garcia,
Okay.
you need to put the amendments out. You need to advertise that and let us know when we're going to have a meeting to discuss the amendments so that the public will be able to weigh in on the amendments.
Correct. Can we just have a motion to close that portion, that public hearing?
So moved.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. Roll call, Ms. Caldwell-Wilson,
Yes.
Mr. Harrison,
Yes.
Mr. Michelle,
Yes.
Ms. Vaughn,
Yes.
Ms. Wilkins,
Yes.
and Ms. McBride.
Yes.
Thank you. Okay, and as far as the introduction of the introduction of the amendments is this is actually a resolution that's to be read today and determine a special will determine a special meeting date for the hearing on this amendment, which is 22-403 resolution to approve the calendar year 2022 municipal current fund budget amendments for the city of Trenton. And this will be then read again at the upon adoption of those at the special hearing. Is there a motion for this resolution?
So move.
Second.
Ms. Caldwell-Wilson,
Yes.
Mr. Harrison, Mr. Harrison,
So Mr. While you're waiting for Mr. Harrison, so Mr. Garcia, the resolution that you read into record, I don't see it on the screen because I'm trying to determine who determined that we'll have a special meeting.
the council, you can determine what date you'd like to have that special meeting. Or I can give a date if you so choose.
Mr. Garcia, I did not hear what you said.
I said the
Yeah.
council, you can
No,
suggest.
did you call my name? I didn't hear you.
Oh, I had, we were in roll call for resolution 22-403. But at the present time, I'm giving a little explanation here. And anyone from the state or Mr. Cherry, if you want to correct me if I'm wrong here, but from what I understand, this resolution is to be read twice. And after this reading, I will advertise these amendments, and then we will come back for a hearing for these amendments and adopt the amendments. Am I right there?
Madam President?
Yes, go right ahead, Mr. Cherry.
Yes, that is the usual process, though I would have to defer to Mr. Cruz or Mr. Zelinski regarding the inclusion of the motion that was just voted on by council. This amendment contains the directed changes from the DCA. So I can't speak to what steps would need to be taken after this vote by council, but the normal process would be to introduce this resolution this week, set a date for that council wishes to have a public hearing, have the public hearing, and then do a final adoption of the budget. That would be the usual process.
So the next hearing date with proper notice would be somewhere around the date of the 26th to ensure that it's properly noticed.
All righty. Okay,
Excuse me, Council President, I have a quick question.
yes,
What are we actually voting on right now? Is to have the hearing or?
yes, for the 26th, for the amendments that we just all voted on and
that he read?
passed.
Okay. So we're just voting to have the actual hearing
Yes, on that vote that
on
we
the
just
amendments.
took.
Okay,
Mhm.
thank you. I just want a clarification. Thank you.
Okay.
Madam
So you
President, if I may.
No, we're in the middle of a vote, Mr. Cruz,
Okay.
so we're gonna
Sorry about
finish
that.
the vote.
Sure.
So go ahead,
Okay,
Mr.
I was-
It's on Mr. Harrison. We're
I was
voting
Mr.
now to
Harrison.
have a meeting on the 26th for the amendments.
Mr. Harrison, your vote?
It's a meeting for the 26th about the amendments. Okay, yes.
Okay. Mr. Michelle,
Yes.
Ms. Vaughn,
Yes.
Ms. Wilkins?
Council President, I think the 26th is something going on that day. It's a very large public meeting for the council. Councilman, if I can defer to Councilman Harrison. I believe it's a public meeting at Trenton Central High School. Is that correct, Councilman Harrison?
Right.
Yeah.
There's a meeting on the 26th.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
So can this be earlier in the afternoon? Do it
Well,
have
the
to be
public-
at 5:30?
Because the public meeting at Trenton Central High School is at 6 o'clock, and the public wouldn't really be able to speak to the amendments if we had it early in the day instead of the evening when people are off from work.
Okay.
So we may have to move the meeting to another day.
Is there an alternative date proposed by council?
24th?
Not enough time to notice. We'll be looking somewhere to be safe from the 26th, going forward from the 26th,
The 28th?
27th, 28th.
I can,
Any objections to the 27th?
what time though?
The will of council. I
It
don't
would
want
be
to
at 5:30.
overstep here.
It would have to be at 5:30 in order for the public to be involved.
Okay. That's fine with me.
Are we, okay. Should I re-poll for the 27th? At
Yeah, you would
5:30?
have, yes, you would have to.
I have a motion for the 27th at 5:30?
I move.
I second it.
Okay.
Thank you. Roll call again, Ms. Caldwell Wilson,
Yes.
Mr. Harrison,
Yes.
Mr. Michelle,
Yes.
Ms. Vaughn,
Yes.
Ms. Wilkins,
Yes.
Ms. McBride.
Yes.
Motion carried. Thank you.
And thank you, Councilwoman Wilkins, for catching that.
Welcome.
Moving right along to resolutions. Resolution 22-346, resolution authorizing the appropriation of $100,000 from the funds allocated to the city of Trenton under the American Rescue Plan Act of 2021 to Meals on Wheels of Mercer County.
So move. Oh, we're not voting tonight. I'm sorry.
It's a roll call that, please, Mr. Garcia.
Yes, ma'am. Moving right along up.
Yes.
You'll see me as soon as
Council President?
I'm gonna make notes because my computer's starting to freeze here. So I'm gonna scroll through. I apologize, Ms. Wilkins.
No, that's okay.
Go right ahead, Councilwoman Wilkins.
Yes, I just have one quick question with regards to the Meals on Wheels. Do they receive, and I guess this would be from Mr. Cruz? Does the Meals on Wheels program, do they receive other funding from the city of Trenton?
I can answer that. Yes, they do. They get the CDBG grant funding.
Oh, okay. So are we allowed to pay out of both the CDBG grant funding and the American Rescue?
Well, I don't have a clue of why they're taking that money from the American Rescue Plan for the Meals on Wheels, because it should come out of the CDBG grant funding.
Is Mr. Cruz on the line?
I am on the line, but am I permitted to speak?
Pardon
Council
me?
President, can he speak, Council President?
Yes. Go ahead.
All right, thank you. So this new funding that is being requested is actually for Meals on Wheels to provide meals in starting next year. Hold on, let me find when actually it's supposed to. I believe it's in February that there will be a need for them to actually serve other residents here, Meals on Wheels. Okay, so what they're trying to do is they're trying to do 125 additional residents, each receiving 2 meals per weekend, with participation based on need and vulnerability, such as living alone, being extremely frail, and lacking any local support systems. So that would be the funding of the Meals on Wheels presently received from the state of New Jersey Economic Development Authority will end in February 2023. And if unreplaced, would limit Meals on Wheels to provide weekend meals to only 20 Trenton residents. So this is why they are asking for our assistance in providing $100,000 from the American Rescue Plan, so that we can continue serving the additional 105 residents that will be without food on weekends.
Okay, because I thought that we already serviced those residents now. So you're saying that the funding will end as of February 2023?
That is correct, yes.
Okay, so is there a reason why we're not giving them CDBG money, or are they going to continue to get CDBG money and American Rescue Plan Act money?
I don't know. I am only going by what the resolution is asking for. I haven't had that conversation with Maria Richardson as to the funding and how much they're being provided by through CDBG.
Is Ms. Richardson on the line? Can she speak to it?
So the reason why we're coming to you now, Council, is because the funding is ending in February, but they need to start trying to find other sources of money that will assist with this. And so, you know, that they're coming to us in good faith, and hopefully we can make this happen for them now, and then they don't have to be running around for money January or February of next year.
No, I understand that, but can Maria speak to it? Can Maria speak to the CDBG question?
Yes.
Community Development Block Grant question?
Yes, she can.
Is Director Richardson on the line? She may not be here. The only issue that I actually have, I mean, I think it's a great program. We've been feeding citizens and residents for quite some time, but can we give them ARC funds along with CDBG funds? And when does the CDBG funds end for Meals on Wheels?
Council President, if I may, if it would be possible, I could speak with Director Richardson tomorrow. And as I understand Ms. Wilkins' question, it's, are they allowed to get both sources of funding, and when do they end, and the permissibility, or is there an exclusionary provision in either of those funding sources that would stop you know, the city from giving it to the same entity?
Yeah, we don't want to get into any legal trouble.
I can speak with Director Richardson and get you that answer by tomorrow, and that way you'll have that for your meeting on Thursday.
Okay, Mr. Garcia?
Yes.
Could you please make a notation that Mr. Bridges is going to ask Director Richardson with regards to the CDBG funding, when it started, when is their CDBG funding expiring? And if we can give them both CDBG funding and American Rescue Plan funding, ARP funding also. We want to definitely provide Meals on Wheels with the funding so that the residents can continue to be fed on the weekends, because that will be the next statement, but that we don't want to feed residents, and that's an untrue. But I just want to make sure that we're not getting into any type of legal issue where, where what's called, and for lack of a better term, double dipping. If the city
Okay.
can in actuality give them ARP funding and CDBG funding.
Okay, I'm
I
gonna
just
have
want
to make,
sure.
I'll make the notation here on paper because
Okay.
I'm starting to have some technical difficulty here.
Okay, that's
in
fine.
terms of my normal editing of this editing process.
Okay, and once Mr. Bridges gets you that information, if you can please, just get it to me, or get it to all of the council. I apologize. Get it to all of the council so that we all know. We just don't want to get ourselves in any type of bad situation with this.
Understood.
Okay, thank you.
One
Thank
moment,
you.
please.
Okay, thank you.
To all.
That is to be roll called.
To be roll call.
Next.
Thank you. Thank you. Resolution 22347, resolution authorizing appropriation of $91,450 from the funds allocated to the City of Trenton under American Rescue Plan Act of 2021 to the Children's Home Society of New Jersey.
Council President?
Roll call.
Yeah, roll call. This is the same situation, and I believe it is for the next one. We have to make sure that they're not, if they're getting funding for CDBG, that they can get ARP funding also.
Councilwoman Wilkins, now that I'm able to type that, would you mind, I apologize, would you mind repeating that?
Sure. Director Bridges is going to ask Director Richardson, when did the CDBG funding end for all three of these programs, the Greenhouse, Incubator, Children's Home Society, Meals on Wheels, for the first three, 346, 347, 348. And
okay.
And are they able to get both funding sources? Because it's coming from, even though they're different accounts, and it's coming from one city. So are they able to get both?
I thought I only agreed to one. You just got me into three now.
Well, yeah, it is.
It's the same thing. I know.
Yeah, it is. It's
Yes,
the
that's
same
correct.
thing. That's, I mean, they're roll call, but that's the questions that I have for all.
I understand.
Because there are funding.
Got you.
Okay.
Madam President.
And also, Mr. Garcia, in the process of that, is this their first time receiving ARP funding? For each of them? And I received the ARP funding for 2022. I would like to see the ARP funding for the year 2021.
Okay. To provide ARP funding for 2021.
All accounts. Not just for these three, but all accounts, because I didn't receive a complete report.
Council President?
Uh-oh, Maria's there.
Yes, I am here. I was just trying to unmute if you.
Excuse me. So, we've already passed those two resolutions. Maria, Mr. Bridges will be contacting you, and you could put your response in writing and send it to all of the council. Appreciate it.
Okay, thank you, Council President.
Thank you.
Okay. Resolution 22-348, resolution authorizing appropriation of $65,000 from the funds allocated to the City of Trenton under the American Rescue Plan of 2021 to the Greenhouse Arts Incubator, doing business as Sprout U School of the Arts. I'm guessing roll call here as well?
Yes, roll call, please.
Noted. Same note applies to all three. Resolution 22-376, resolution of the City of Trenton in County of Mercer, State of New Jersey, authorizing submission of an application to the local finance board requesting approval of sewer bond ordinance of the city under provisions of the Municipal Qualified Bond Act, NJSA 48-3 et sec. The act entitled Bond Ordinance Providing for Major Repairs to the Combined Sewage Pumping Station by the Sewer Utility of the City of Trenton in the County of Mercer, State of New Jersey, appropriating $3,500,000, therefore, and authorizing the issuance of $3,500,000 of bonds or notes to finance the cost thereof, issuance of qualified bonds under the provisions of the act, and issuance of qualified bonds through the New Jersey Infrastructure Bank pursuant to the provisions of NJSA 58:11B-9A.
So is that 3.5 million being pulled down from money that we already have?
I can't comment to that.
Madam President, if I may.
Yes.
Hi, Madam President, this is actually, if we look at the at the first whereas towards the middle, it says, bond ordinance providing for major repairs to the combined sewer pumping station by the sewer utility of the city of appropriating $3.5 million, authorizing the issuance of $3.5 million of bonds or notes to finance the cost thereof. The issuance of bonds under the bond ordinance is a qualified bond under the act, and 3, the issuance of qualified bonds through the New Jersey Infrastructure Bank program pursuant to the provisions of NJSA. So it's actually new bonds that we will be floating.
All right, roll call that. Mr. Cruz, can you give me a list of all of the bonds that haven't been repurposed before Thursday?
I can try.
All righty.
Okay. Resolution 22-402, resolution closing municipal buildings on certain holidays observed by the City of Trenton in 2023.
Consent agenda.
Noted. Resolution 22-405, resolution authorizing a contract with Dell Marketing LP for the purchase of Microsoft Windows Server licenses for the City of Trenton, awarded through New Jersey State Contract number T-3121 20TELE 01510 in an amount not to exceed $49,556.
Consent.
Resolution 22-406, resolution authorizing contract to CDWG LLC for the purchase of server hardware, disk storage, network switches, racks, and UPS ups for a period of 1 year from October 7th, 2022 to October 6th, 2023, awarded through Educational Services Commission of New Jersey, ESCNJ/AEPA-22G in an amount not to exceed $403,470.54.
Roll call.
Noted. Resolution 22-413, resolution authorizing the award of non-fair and open contract to the law firm of Dakotas Fitzpatrick, Cole, and Giblin for legal matters involving the proposed closure of St. Francis Medical Center.
Council President, I think it's something going on with this. If I may defer to Mr. Kaloji, I think he sent us an email with regards to this. Mr. Kaloji, I'm sorry.
Mr. Kaloji?
Yes, I'm here. I'm sorry, Councilwoman. What was the question?
Wasn't there an email that you sent to us, to the council with regarding this law firm for the legal matters for St. Francis Medical Center that we would not be?
Yeah, unfortunately, I'm sorry. I didn't realize that was still on the agenda. We have talked to 3 different law firms, and each one had a conflict, and we just found out late on Friday that this one also had a conflict. We're talking about the Dakota's firm?
Yes, so they have
Yes.
to be
Yeah,
removed.
so we're
right?
gonna, they can't take it, so we're gonna have to pull it.
Yeah, we have to pull this, Council President.
All righty.
Thank you.
Noted. Resolution 22-407, resolution authorizing the City of Trenton Department of Health and Human Services.
Could you please? Never mind. Oh, never mind.
We okay?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Resolution authorizing the City of Trenton Department of Health and Human Services to accept fiscal year 2021 COC program grant from the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development, the amount of $4,961,358.
Consent.
Resolution 22-340, resolution to rescind resolution 22-286, authorizing the City of Trenton to a shared service agreement with the County of Mercer through the Mercer County Office on Aging, 2022 Older American Act, Social Services Block Grant for the socialization and recreation for 4 senior centers for the City of Trenton's senior population, with the option to extend for an additional 1 year.
This is just being rescinded because we already corrected it.
Correct.
It was corrected on a previous council meeting. Consent.
Noted. Resolution 22-409, resolution authorizing execution of purchase money mortgage documents between the City of Trenton and Marlon Harris for the sale and purchase of city-owned property, commonly known as 133 Houghton Avenue, Trenton, New Jersey, in the amount of $56,250.
Council President,
Yes.
I'm all for us putting our properties back on the roll, but I'm also for us making sure that the what is it called? The money mortgage, the purchase money mortgage program is for the residents of the city. I don't believe that this gentleman lives in the city. No, he lives on Hamilton. He lives in Hamilton Township, New Jersey. I mean, I just think that this funding should be for Trenton residents.
And so you could roll call it.
Yep, roll call.
Noted. Resolution 22-416, resolution awarding a contract through fair and open process in accordance with NJSA 19:44A-20.4 et sec to NISHUAN Nishwain Group LLC for professional planning and consulting services to develop a strategic action plan to strengthen the city's capability to advance economic development opportunities, focus resources, prioritize and advance projects from October 7th, 2022 to March 23rd, 2023, in an amount not to exceed $150,000 per RFP 2022-29.
So my problem with this is the redevelopment lies in the council's hands. So I don't understand what the Housing and Economic Development Department is actually trying to do here. So we can roll call this one.
Noted. Resolution 22-404, resolution to approve the calendar year 2022 Municipal Utilities Fund budget amendments for the City of Trenton. It says $2,239,818.60.
Roll call that because I'm not even clear why that's there. If we initiated our amendments tonight, those are the utility funds. Okay. All right.
Resolution 22-415, resolution to approve a Trenton Emergency Loan UEZ in the amount not to exceed $20,000 to the GMH Associates of America Incorporated.
Roll call.
Resolution 22-401, resolution authorizing a payment of $83,000 to the Law Office of Raynone Coughlin Minchello LLC for services rendered for general municipal litigation and other legal matters through a fair and open process in accordance with NJSA 19:44A-20.5 et sec.
Roll call that, Council President.
All righty.
Resolution 22-299, resolution authorizing an amendment to resolution 20-536, awarded to Grassi and Co. CPAs PC for special forensic accounting audit services for the Department of Water and Sewer for a period of 1 year from October 22nd, 2021 to October 21st, 2022 for an additional $250,000 RFP 2020-40.
So this right here is, that number is gonna be amended. I just have to look at my emails and see what he has, but this is the audit for over at the forensic audit for the water department. And he had sent over some suggestions for us to look at. So this will be amended. I have to pull it up and send it over to Mr. Garcia, and so he can share it with all the council tomorrow. Mr. Garcia, did Mr. O'Brien send you anything?
Not that I know of, but I certainly
that you
will
know.
check and I
Okay.
will find out.
All right, I'll just
Okay.
just reach back out to him tomorrow.
Will do. Okay, resolution
Council
22-411.
President, is this roll called or no?
Well,
Yeah, thank you.
yes, you could put it down for roll call. But he's gonna I think he sent the information over to me today, but I didn't get a chance to share it with the council or the clerk.
Resolution 22-411, resolution authorizing to rescind resolution number 21-518 and cancel the contract awarded to Shannon Chemical Corporation for the furnish and delivery of zinc orthophosphate contract and purchase through George S. Coyne on an emergency bid 2021-62.
Mr. Cruz, did you want to elaborate on this for the council members? Mr. Cruz? Colin Cherry?
Yes, Madam President.
We want the resolution.
Did you want to elaborate on this for the rest of the council members and the public?
Absolutely. For the council body and members of the public, this was a contract that was previously awarded to Shannon Chemical Corporation to provide a particular chemical that the water utility uses, the zinc orthophosphate. Unfortunately, during the course of the contract, this company changed the price on the chemical to a price that we do not believe is consistent with the market anymore. So we would like, and it is not consistent with their original bid. So we are canceling the contract, and we will be finding a more reasonably priced source for this chemical moving forward. We did prepare a resolution to award to the new company, but unfortunately it wasn't able to make it to the docket. So council members, you will see at the next meeting a resolution to award to a different firm for a much lower price than this company changed their price to.
Thank you.
Of course.
Consent.
Noted. Resolution 22-412, resolution authorizing the reduction of sewer charges at 719 Southern Street, account number 615-2213-301.
Consent.
Noted. Ordinances, first reading and introduction. Ordinance 22-28, bond ordinance providing for major repairs to the combined sewage pumping station by the sewer utility of the city of Trenton in the county of Mercer, state of New Jersey, appropriating $3,500,000, therefore, and authorizing the issuance of $3,500,000 of bonds or notes to finance the cost thereof.
This is roll call, right? Mhm.
Well, bond, I'm sorry, a bond has to be,
Ordinance.
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. Mhm.
Noted. And that would conclude our agenda.
All right, so we want to open it up for public pertaining to the docket.
Yes.
Anything pertaining to the docket for the public?
Are there any members of the public that wish to speak? Please do raise your hand
Pertaining to the docket.
pertaining to the docket. I'm not seeing any hands. Are there any people from the phones? I see one hand. Give me 1 second. Gosh, where's the hand? I see one hand. Do go right ahead.
I have a question about resolution 22-416.
We need your name.
Pronounce your name and your address.
Yes, please. I need your name and address for the record.
My name is
Ms.
Kira.
Kira.
And I would like to know, where can I learn more about this contract?
Which one? Could you put it up on the screen, Mr. Garcia?
22-416, the resolution awarding a contract through fair and open process in accordance with, it's basically for professional planning and consulting services to develop a strategic action plan to strengthen the city's capability to advance economic development opportunities.
Yeah, one moment. Let me get the resolution. You said resolution, I'm sorry, the number again?
22-416.
Thank you.
That came out of the Housing and Economic Development Department.
Oh,
if you,
hold on 1 second.
If she leaves her information for you, Mr. Garcia, then you can put her in touch with the Housing and Economic Development Department.
I'd be happy to.
Could you give her your email?
Certainly. Kira, if you want to take my email.
I have your email. I'll email you.
Perfect. Just email me and I'll be happy to connect you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Is there anyone else from the public that would like to speak to anything pertaining to the docket? Seeing no hands and hearing no one, I would like to make a motion to close public comment.
Second.
Roll call, Ms. Caldwell-Wilson,
Yes.
Mr. Harrison,
Yes.
Mr. Mushal,
Yes.
Ms. Vaughn,
Yes.
Ms. Wilkins,
Yes.
Ms. McBride.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Civic comment.
Moving to civic comment, man, on your
Yes.
call.
Councilwoman Caldwell-Wilson.
I have nothing at this time. Have a good night, everyone.
Councilman Harrison.
Oh, yes. There is a public meeting, a hearing next Wednesday, Trenton High School. It's the State Health Planning Board will be holding a public hearing concerning certificate of need application regarding Capitol Health. The meeting is next Wednesday, 6 to 7 p.m. at Trenton High School. That's it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Councilman. Councilman Mushal.
Nothing at this time. Thank you. Good night.
Good night. Councilwoman Vaughn.
Yes, I just want to follow up on Councilman Harrison announcement regarding the next official public hearing that's being offered to residents and businesses of Trenton and any other interested citizen to come out and participate and exercise their voice regarding the transfer of services from St. Francis Hospital to Capitol Health health systems. It's a lot of late breaking information that the public didn't get on the onset. Who knows when these conversations and when these issues originated. I just hope that the public come out. I will be putting out the information, and please call the clerk's office or any other council member to get the link. That the meeting is going to be in person at Trenton Central High School, but also it is offering a virtual link as well for folks who can't make it, and perhaps, you know, dialing in virtually is more convenient. One of the main issues in any type of a merger, acquisition, or transfer transaction of this magnitude and impact is funding, and really understanding what's needed, what the municipality's requirements are, and whether or not the entities involved have the resources and capability to be able to execute and implement the requirements, whether it's human resource wise, capital wise, ongoing. We want capital help. We want Capitol Health to be successful, and taking on these additional medical services. And they still have a couple of hurdles to clear with their regulators. Regulators, the New Jersey Department of Health, as well as eventually the New Jersey Office of Attorney General, and ultimately the New Jersey Superior Court. So, but in the interim, this is an opportunity for us, the citizens, the taxpayers, the electorate, to chime in. And I think in the interim, we need to talk to all of our elected officials, our governor, Governor Murphy, for funding. I think Trenton perhaps may have missed out for a multitude of reasons, but we need to get on board, and we need to get on board aggressively, and contact Governor Murphy primarily, to see if we can access or obtain the necessary funding to help Capitol Health be successful. There was a huge allotment of monies that came from the federal government after COVID during 2020. It was to help hospitals and health systems to build out their infrastructure and capability and service levels to prepare for pandemics and the impact of the pandemic. 53 hospitals throughout New Jersey received funding. Some received as high as $200 million. We had 2 hospitals in Mercer County that received funding. Princeton Medical received $16 million, and Robert Wood Johnson of Hamilton received $9 million. So I don't understand, it's not clear to me how Trenton and the Capitol Health System, knowing 2 years ago that potentially they were going to take on St. Francis's services, and our government, the Mayor Gussior, the County Executive Hughes, our 3 representatives on the state legislature, some of the county commissioners. One of the county commissioners, Sam Frisbee, sits on the board of St. Francis Medical Center. So the fact that we're talking about this today and we're in crisis mode, and we don't have, and it's unclear whether there will be sufficient funding to be able to successfully implement this transaction without the city suffering or being negatively impacted by lack of hospital care and health care and medical care. I can't see right now, based on the capabilities of St. Francis as it is today, to take on those added services from, Capitol Health, to take on those added services from St. Francis and be able to service 90,000 people. So in the city of Trenton, one hospital, 90,000 people with limited funding. So we need you, I just will summarize, we need us in concert and fully united, putting the pressure on the state government to fund Capitol Health Hospital in the way it has funded 53 other hospitals and health systems throughout New Jersey and the 2 within our borders in Mercer County. I just can't understand how Robert Wood Johnson in Hamilton Township got 9 million and Princeton Hospital and Plainsboro received 16 million when Trenton was deemed a city that was disproportionately impacted by the pandemic. And these were pandemic funds. So we need this money. And I don't understand how that happened. And I think there's some elected officials that need to be held accountable. And I just hope that we can recover from this and correct this wrong very quickly. And we will definitely hold Governor Murphy accountable for that. And also Mayor Gussie Orr, because Trenton, we need to fight for that money. And I hope that everybody asked for it. But it seems like there was some negligence here, negligence. So, Council President, that's all I have. I just hope that everyone will, anyone who can attend, please attend. Anybody have knowledge of these type of transactions, please share it and help Trenton and help Trentonians. Thanks for attending the call and good night. Thank you, Council President.
Yes, thank you. Tonight, I don't have much to say. I want to thank the public.
You
And I
skipped
know
me, Council President.
Oh, that lets you know I'm ready to go. I apologize.
You skipped me. It's okay. It's okay. I'm going to be brief. I'm going to be very
Mhm.
brief. Good evening, everyone. I just want to thank you all, as I normally do, for attending the City Council meeting and staying civically engaged. It's very important to know what's going on in your city, whether it be what's going on with the crime in the schools, recreational wise, or any events and things of that nature, because it's important for you to know your surroundings. I say that all the time. You must know surroundings and what's going on. But what I just want to touch on briefly is I want to touch on the uptick of violence that has been happening in the city. Most recently, the 2 killings that occurred within 24 hours of each other, and also with the violence that has been going on in the schools. I just want to encourage the parents, encourage the students, don't give up hope. I learned something so valuable from someone last night talking about the hope of the people is, it's a little lost, but there still is hope. I want to encourage the young people to continue to do that which is right. If you know something, do say something. I want to offer my sincere condolences to the 2 families that lost family members. One was near the alleyway of Carroll Street, near the Trenton Rescue Mission. The other was in the area of Princeton Avenue, somewhere near the Family Dollar, Princeton Avenue, Olden area, somewhere in there. But I just want to offer my sincere condolences. I'm praying for you and I'm praying for our city. And that's all I have to offer, Council President. Thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate everyone. I know a lot of you have left the line, but I also was going to offer up a prayer for the victims of violence in our city. Over the last weekend, I had to attend about 5 funerals, and it's a lot for such a small city. And my prayers go out to the families, because I know that right around there now, there's a lot of pain and the families need a lot of prayer. So I do want to offer a prayer. I want to thank everyone again for coming out. I want to talk about the water department. I just want the public that is still on this line to understand what is occurring here in the city of Trenton. The residents in the city of Trenton is the sole proprietors of that filtration plant. The residents in the city of Trenton have shouldered every bond that has been taken out for that water department. We have customers that we service. Those customers don't get to say that they want to take over our water department. They don't get to say that. They don't get to manufacture deficiencies to take over our water department. They are rate payers. They are customers. And they don't get to make those type of crucial decisions about Trenton's water department. And I hope that the residents in Trenton understand and see this for what it is. It is an aggressive move to take that water from the residents in the city of Trenton. And I'm telling all of you, we stood up to the sale of the water department in 2010, and we had better stand up now, because what they're doing is unconscionable. What they're saying, they just stopped the talks. DEP just broke off the conversation with the attorneys, broke off the conversation, and then come back with an aggressive move that they want to bring a monitor in. And then they say that we don't have the talent. We don't have the talent in the water department. We have a T4 with an engineering degree. We have a W4 with an engineer's degree. We have an S4 with 30 years of experience with the Trenton Sewer Department. And we have a C4, the most qualified individuals that you could get to run a water department. So when they say that we don't have the talent in the water department, who are they talking about? Are they talking about the political hires? Because they cannot be talking about the people with the license and the degrees. They cannot be talking about those individuals. They are aggressively moving forward to take this water department from the residents in the city of Trenton. They are customers. They have no rights to the water department, to that filtration plant here, none whatsoever. And they will not get that water department. They will not get it without a fight. They will not get it without a fight. We saved that water for the Trentonians in 2010, and we will fight to keep that water right here. So they have had a nerve to say that Trenton water, we have some of the highest quality drinking water on the East Coast and even further. How dare them? They break off the talks and then they form an alliance with our customers? Are you people serious? You will not lay your hands on that water department without a fight. You will not. And for everybody that's supposed to be representing this city of Trenton, this is the time for you to stand up, because we won't accept anything less than that. Stand up for that water. Stand up for the water department. These manufactured deficiencies. It's outrageous. I would like to thank you all again. And again, my prayers go out to all of the families that have faced violence within the last week or so, and even further back. My prayers go out to all of you. And thank you again. Mr. Garcia?
Yes, I have a motion, I'm sorry, Madam President, for a motion to adjourn.
Yes, I'll make the motion to adjourn.
Second.
Noted. Roll call, Ms. Caldwell-Wilson,
Yes.
Mr. Harrison,
Yes.
Mr. Michelle. Mr. Michelle. Moving on, Ms.
Councilman
Vaughn.
Michelle?
Moving on, Ms. Vaughn.
He's gone.
Yes.
Thank you. Ms. Wilkins,
Yes.
Ms. McBride,
Yes,
Mr. Michelle, I'll come back once more.
he's left already.
I believe we've lost him. Motion carried, meeting adjourned.
Good night.
Good night. all.
Night.